Oh, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift dipped her toe into politics. Now, I'm trying to move away from politics, but I felt the need to cover this story. Because yesterday when I first heard about it, I was driving to the store. I had the radio turned down. I heard Taylor Swift, endorses two candidates for Congress. And I immediately sat up, cranked up the radio. And my girlfriend's like, wait, what the hell's going on? I'm like, no. You don't understand. Tay-Tay coming out and making a political move is actually a really big fucking deal. It's a really big deal. And we're going to talk about that here as to why, but it's a really big deal. And so I listened to it, and ultimately it was like she supported like a couple people from Congress, and it was people I'd never heard of. I'm like, all right, whatever. But it was small but significant because Taylor Swift has been relentlessly attacked by the left, for not diving into the political fight publicly, for protecting her image and keeping her political views close to her chest. For a long time, she's been attacked relentlessly. I'm not even kidding you. So this is what she says in regards to that and to those supports. She says, I'm writing this post about the upcoming midterm elections on November 6th, in which I'll be voting in the state of Tennessee. In the past, I've been reluctant to publicly voice my political opinions, but due to several events in my life and the world in this past 2 years, I feel differently about that now. I've always and will always cast my vote based on which candidate will protect and fight for human rights. I believe we all deserve in this country. I believe in the fight for LGBTQ rights and that any form of discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender is wrong. I believe that the systemic racism we see in this country towards people of color is terrifying, sickening, and prevalent. I cannot vote for someone who will not be willing to fight for dignity for all Americans, no matter their skin color, gender, or who they love. Running for Senate in the state of Tennessee is a woman named Marsha Blackburn. As much as I have in the past and would like to continue voting for women in office, I cannot support Marsha Blackburn. Her voting record in Congress appalls and terrifies me. She voted against equal pay for women. She voted against the Reauthorization of Violence Against Women Act, which attempts to protect women from domestic violence, stalking, and date rape. She believes businesses have the right to refuse gay couples. She also believes that they should not have the right to marry. These are not my Tennessee values. I will be voting for Phil Bredesen in Senate and Jim Cooper for the House of Representatives. Please educate yourself on the candidates running in your state and vote based on who most closely represents your values. For a lot of us, we may never find a candidate or party with whom we agree 100% on every issue, but we have to vote anyway. So many intelligent, thoughtful, self-possessed people have turned 18 in the past 2 years and have the right and privilege to make their vote count. But first, we need to register, which is quick and easy to do. October 9th is the last day to register to vote in the state of Tennessee. Go to vote.org and you can find all the information there. Now, obviously, she's coming out as a liberal, which is going to then fuel the rage of conservatives in regards to this. And the reason why that's interesting to me is because conservatives have, in fact, defended Taylor Swift in the past, because when she was attacked by the left over not coming out politically, they were saying, like, what does it matter what her political views are? Now, because of the climate we're in right now, and also some of the things she said in this particular post, we're going to see some interesting hot takes this morning. I've already seen a few myself, but I'm not diving into those specifically. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is because this is an article from National Review, which is a conservative magazine, or a conservative outlet, which is why I wanted to kind of focus on the conservatives for a second here, because this is an article posted November 10th of last year titled "Feminists' Bizarre Crusade Against Taylor Swift," which outlines, and this is written by Kyle Smith here. It outlines a lot of why people, what's going on with her. They see this here. They hate the pop princess for not opposing Trump. Okay. So they say here, this is conservative. And that's the byline. They hate the pop princess for not opposing Trump. Whereas here, she's not opposing Trump, but she's supporting her own values and saying that the Senator Marsha Blackburn in the state of Tennessee doesn't agree with that at all. So we're in this weird kind of Tay-Tay moment where she is going to piss off both sides. I think this is going to piss off both sides. Like, the left are going to be more like, well, she came out and said something. She didn't use hashtag resist, which is good. She didn't use hashtag me too or any of that stuff. She didn't put like hashtag vote him out or nothing like that. But she says here, she outlines what her political values are. Okay. She wants there to be, gay rights. Cool. She doesn't want there to be any form of discrimination based upon gender or sex. Totally cool. And she thinks that there's systemic racism in this country. and that she wants that to be eradicated, that's totally cool. I think many people out there, regardless of wherever you stand politically, you want there to be equality, you want everyone to have the same rights, and you don't want there to be racism. I think we all can agree on that. And then it just becomes the spectrum of, I guess, how progressive or how active you are in that regard. The point I'm trying to get to here is she outlines her thoughts, and she does it in a succinct and clear manner that does show that she is very much liberal. She very much doesn't like where the Tennessee senator has been, and she wants to support somebody else, which is cool. And then she goes on to say that, look, you're never going to find everybody, she says like, okay, hold on. For a lot of us, we may never find a candidate or party with whom we agree 100% on every issue, but we have to vote anyway. And I just, that to me says a lot. That speaks out to me quite a bit because it's true. Like I'm not a conservative, but there are thoughts and ideas that I have that do fall more on the conservative spectrum. And there are thoughts and ideas that I have that fall on the liberal spectrum, depending on what the topic of the conversation is, because no one is either right or either left. Politics, to kind of paraphrase social justice warriors, is like gender. It's fluid, right? It is not everything is one side or another. And I like the fact that she came out and she said that. That's one of the reasons why I want to talk about this too, is because I like the fact that she came out and she said that. We need more of that. That, look, you don't always have to agree on every issue, but find which best closely represents your core values and vote that way. And that, I think, is being true to yourself and being true to the core values of being an American. I really think that. And to have a celebrity like Taylor Swift, I mean, huge, massive celebrity, come out and say, like, vote your heart, vote how you feel, vote what you can best vote for, is good. It's good because it's not hardlining people into one camp or another. Do you vote conservative? Cool. Do you vote liberal? Cool. Do you vote independent? Do you vote libertarian? Are you one of the few Jill Stein fans out there? Cool. Like it's fine, but just vote. I think that's the key thing here. That's what I try to tell people is we're not always going to get what you want when it comes to voting. You're not always going to get what you want when it comes to that, but we still owe it to ourselves as Americans, as people who live in this country. And I know predominantly my audience is American, so I'm sorry if you're out of the country, but we owe it to ourselves to vote, right? We owe it to ourselves to use our voice in that way, because that is how we enact the change, right? Shit flinging, mud flinging, pedantic crying on the internet over issues does not enact the change, but voting does. Right now, the online stuff may change the conversation, but it doesn't actually change policy. And that's why that particular post right there is something I very much agree with. And I'm happy that Taylor Swift came out and made this comment, because she's held off for years, being attacked for years by people on her own party, her own side, for not playing into that game. And then she finally waited and she finally spoke her truth, and she did it in a way that's succinct and to the point. And that's why I want to talk about the stories, not to praise her or for her political views, because I don't agree with everything that she's going for here. But the fact she came out and she made a comment like this, that to me says a lot. And that's why I hope more celebrities that may not fall in line 100% with where things are on the left come out and say it's okay to vote how you feel. It's okay to vote, because if we make voting okay and not one camp or another, you're either with us or you're against us mentality, then I think more people will do it. And that's what I personally want to see in this country. It's what I personally want to see in our society. And this us versus them mentality is only, I think, push people further away from the voting booth. A comment like that, on the other hand, I think is something that would bring people towards it, which is why I want to amplify it.